I am the drama teacher at Plummer Elementary School. We in class today made some masks, and I thought it would be helpful if I made a video explaining how you can make the mask at home in case you didn't have a chance to finish the mask in class, or if you weren't in class and didn't get to see it when we did it together. So here's what you're going to need. You are going to need a piece of paper, a pencil with an eraser, a pair of scissors, preferably scissors that are kid-friendly scissors, or an adult to help you with adult scissors, a cup that you can use to trace a circle, and either a stapler or some tape that you can use to put your mask together. And then lastly, you're going to need some markers, crayons, or stickers, anything else you'd like to decorate your mask. So here's step one. Step one, you're going to take your cup and you're going to place it in the middle and to the side of your paper, upside down, and you're going to trace the bottom of the cup to make a circle on your paper. I lost my cup a little bit there. You want to do this in pencil so you'll be able to erase some things later. So as you can see, I have my circle slightly to the side and in the middle of the paper. So I have a little bit of space above, a little below, a little on the side, and then a lot on the other side. Now I'm going to move my cup slightly to the side. So it's going to be next to the original circle and then pushes in just a little bit so that my two circles are going to overlap. And then I'm going to trace the circle again. So now you can see I have two overlapping circles. Now in my two circles, I'm going to draw two smaller circles for my eye holes. This one, I'm just going to freehand in the middle of my two circles, and then I'm going to color them in to remind myself later not to draw there, because that's going to be cut out later for my eye holes. So you can see they kind of look like two little eyeballs, almost like Cookie Monster eyes right now. Here is where you get to get a little creative. Actually, before we get creative, I'm going to draw the sides out first. So starting at the top, I'm going to draw kind of a little bit of a triangle out here on both sides. So you can see I'm going to draw a line from the outer edge of this circle over here, the outer edge of this circle. It's going to come to the edge of the paper. And you'll see later on why this is going to be helpful. Okay, so this is essentially going to be my mask, but now I get to decorate it. Now in class, we talked about the idea of masks being really helpful when you are making a character that you can't make yourself look like in real life. So I maybe can't make myself look like a dragon. So a mask would be a great way for me to turn my face into a dragon face. Now, one of the students in class today talked about the dragon Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon. So we decided to try to make some Raya masks. So first, what I'm gonna do is I looked up some pictures of Raya the dragon, and then I decided, what do her eyes look like? I'm gonna start at her eyes. So her eyes are kind of a little bit like ovals. So I'm gonna start inside this smaller circle where my eye hole is gonna be eventually. And I drew kind of, now mind you, I'm the drama teacher, not the art teacher, so my drawing is not up to par. Please forgive me. So I've drawn my two kind of eyes around here. You can see they're not exactly even, but that's okay. So I tried to make them as even as I can. And then I noticed that the outer edges of her eyes were a little darker, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm starting with the eyes so I can build outward. With the masks, it's helpful to start in the center and build out. So then I want to go with her nose. I noticed that Raya the dragon has a longer nose, so I'm gonna draw out two long lines from inside the eyes, right? To help guide my nose. Then I'm going to draw some circles down at the bottom for her dragon nostrils. And I'm going to round it out here. now I've got my dragon nose. Then I'm going to connect my dragon nose up to the eyes here. You can see how it's a little connected over here. And then lastly, actually not lastly, there's a few more things. Then I noticed she had some eyebrows. So I'm gonna draw her eyebrows in up here. On the lefty, which is making it a little bit difficult right now in case you're having trouble seeing what I'm drawing, but here we go. You can see I drew some eyebrows. Then I noticed she had a horn at the top of her head, kind of like a unicorn. So I'm gonna draw this triangle at the top for her horn, pull it down closer to her eyebrows. And lastly, for a reel this time, she had lots of crazy hair coming out all over the place. I'll color that in eventually, but right now I'm just doing it in pencil. Okay, so you can see this is the outline of my mask. Now I'm ready to do a little bit of erasing. So you can see where the circles overlapped in the middle. That helped guide me to know where I needed to draw things, but I don't need them anymore. So now I can use my eraser, and I'm gonna erase just this part in the middle where the two circles overlapped. You can see that I erased that part in the middle where my two circles overlapped. Now I'm also gonna erase the bottom part of the circle that I don't need either. You see I erased that bottom part right there and right there. So now I have a pretty good outline for my mask. Now I'm going to cut out my mask. So this is where if you have an adult that's gonna help you out, maybe they'll help you out with some of this cutting.
Jamendo.com.
Here I have the basic of my mask. Now the next thing I'm going to need to do is to cut out my eye holes. So the easiest way to cut out a circle in the middle of a piece of paper is to fold the paper in half until this circle is going to be folded right in the middle. So I'm finding the circle, I'm going to fold the circle in half. You can see right here I have half the circle on this side and half the circle on the other side of the fold. I'm going to take my scissors to that circle and I'm going to cut that circle out. You can see it's cut out. When I unfold the paper, there is the circle, poke my finger through, and that's where my eye is going to be so I can see through the mask. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I find my circle, I fold it in half, I cut out half the circle, unfold my paper, and there we go. And if I hold it up to my face and I discover that the eye holes are a little too small, I can always poke my scissors in through the circle hole and cut it a little bit bigger if I need to. So this is where you get to have the fun of coloring in your mask however you want. Once you've finished coloring in your mask, you're going to need a second piece of paper. With your second piece of paper, you are going to cut 2 long strips from the long edge of the paper. So if I have a big piece of paper here, I am cutting this long strip of paper twice. Now the other option, if you want something a little bit sturdier, is you can use some cardboard like a cereal box or something else like that to cut your long thin strip. So you can see I have a long thin strip here and you need 2, another long thin strip here. So you've colored in your mask, you have your 2 strips of paper. Now you are going to take either your stapler or your tape and you are going to connect the strip to the side of your mask. So I'm going to use a stapler, just a little bit faster. So now I have stapled the strips on. I can put the mask on my head I can connect the two strips behind me, use that to measure, hold it with my thumb and my index finger, slide this off my head, and then I can use this. Maybe I'll make it just a little bit bigger so it's easier to slide onto my head. And I'm gonna staple it, cut off any excess that I don't need. And now I have my completed mask. And then I can put it on my head and wear it, and now I can look just like Raya the dragon. So the other thing to know about this is kind of like this is the more fragile version. If you want a slightly sturdier version, then you can do this whole thing, but instead of doing it on paper, you can do it on cardboard. It is going to take a little bit of stronger scissors in order to cut things out with the cardboard, so it may be a little bit trickier, but you can absolutely still do it. So that is how you can make your mask. And the idea of making masks, particularly in drama, is that they're one more tool for us to use when we are moving our bodies to help transform ourselves into the characters we're playing. So we've talked about in class using our bodies by changing the way that we move our bodies and the way that we stand in our bodies. And this is one more tool you can add to the way we dress our bodies to turn ourselves into a different character. So I hope you learned something today in class, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below and show me what you've created from your own masks. I can't wait to see them.